Hey Donovan, Ben here going through a video analysis of your swing and just want to go over a couple things that I see that we can work on in regards to our swing to take you to the next level. So let's go ahead and get started here. We work on our foundation, or our legs, or our lower half first, so let's go ahead and talk about that in regards to our start. The start looks pretty darn good as far as for the start. I do think that your barrel is a little bit high. You can see as I begin to go forward here that your barrel begins to move around a little bit, so try to keep your bat nice and quiet. You can kind of see it tall, and then as I go forward here a little bit, you can kind of see that it drops on you and kind of moves around a little bit. So make sure we kind of start here, and then as I go to swing, you can see as it gets farther and farther and farther down when I start, and then you bring it back up, and then you go to swing. So let's make sure that keep it nice and quiet in regards to our hands and just having it in a good launch position. And I think that would be important for it to be just having you as consistent as you can. The other thing that I see here as I back up a couple frames, that you got to make sure that our hands clear. You want to try to get a shoe length in between your ear and your hands. I'm kind of just drawing a little green line there on your hands. You can see how your hands are a little bit close to your body, and you want to create some separation. So go ahead and move those hands back. I would have those hands more back in this area, and then create that bat angle to not have it be here, to not have it be tall, but just have it be in a good angle kind of right in there, and that's going to create some good downward angle for us when we hit. I want to go into land foot, but everything else in your lower half looks pretty good. Your knees are nice and bent. You're a little bit on your back leg, but you're athletic. Your posture is nice and tall. Your eyes are directly on the pitcher. So all in all, a pretty good job in regards to our stance. Just move those hands back a little bit, get that bat a little quieter, and that's going to make a little bit of a difference here. All right, so when I go to land foot, or I go to point of contact, you do a pretty good job of getting there on time. You can see when your hands go back, they do want to lock out a little bit, so I want to talk about that. Your arms, that bottom hand, begins to kind of really get locked. So I take this line off. You can see as I land my land foot, when that foot goes out, it kind of locks that arm, and that's going to make us late on faster pitching. So what you need to happen is you need to do some one-handed drills with wiffle balls and just kind of rest that bat on your shoulder with just your bottom hand. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to take it off your shoulder and just go right to the ball. You can see that when you go to do land foot, that your arm gets extended and it gets locked. It doesn't. You lose that angle in your swing. So at this point of our swing, I still want to have some pretty good angle in my arm right now, but you can see that that arm is pretty much completely locked out, and that's going to be important for us to be short to the ball. The other thing that does is you'll see it drops my hands, and as my arms straighten out, that drops my hands lower than where they should be, so I'm going to begin to get underneath the ball. So at this point of our swing, when we do land foot, your hand and barrel should still be up here. And then what you want to do is you want to be short to it this way. Instead of right now, you begin to drop your hands, and then I'm going to be working a little bit to flatten uphill, which is going to make me slow to it. So remember, we want to be short to the ball and long through the ball. So that's going to be important as I go here. The other thing that I noticed too, when you hit, is that you finish, you can see that your hands snap too early. Your hands turn over. And what you want to do is you want to have your hands and your palms stay up. What's going to happen is your barrel is going to finish kind of this way and finish really low, whereas you want to have those hands finish nice and high, more in this area, and you're going to finish way above your head there. But you'll see, as I go forward, you'll see where you finish, that you're finishing down very low on your body. If I back it up here a few frames, you can see how that barrel is actually all the way down in this area. So what that does is the sooner you finish low, the more you're going to cut that swing off and really make a big difference of not being in the zone anymore. You can see it. Contact, you can see this. Watch this. Your top hand here. It's going to begin to roll over on you, and you finish nice and low. So we want to be able to finish nice and high. You start high, finish high. So in your barrel, you keep that palm up longer, you'll be able to finish with that barrel up in this area, and that's going to help you stay through and behind the ball better, and that's going to make a big difference. The other thing I saw in a couple of your swings is making sure you're swinging at strikes only. I did notice on this next pitch where it was it was definitely a ball, and you swung at it. So getting a good habit of not having to swing at every pitch. That's going to be very important as you get older in regards to your hitting, that you're just really focused on hitting the ball, just balls that are strikes. So again, when we go downhill, this one is fine. When I go to land foot, you'll see though, as I go to land foot, that you're still going to finish low here. So your hands drop, and you want to make sure that you're not going to go get the ball and finish. You can see here, right at contact. Whenever it's a low pitch, don't bend your body to get to it. Just change your hand position to get to it. You can see right here of how much I came down. If I back up and swing, you can see how much I started up here. So you don't want to have that drastic of levels whenever you're hitting here. You can see at contact of how much you drop. So make sure it's a low pitch that you don't finish and go get the ball. You just go there with your hands. But notice how that top hand is going to roll over too quick. You can see how low you're going to finish. So see how low your hands are right now? And that's going to make sure that our barrel finishes more down in this area, where we want to make sure that that barrel can stay in that zone, and then you're going to finish that barrel way up nice and high. So those are the biggest things that I see, and drills you can do is the 2T drill to stay through the ball, to see how long you can keep that top hand from turning over and snap it through, but don't snap it over. Work on your level changes, and just a lot of key work and soft toss, I think, is really going to help you do this. So hopefully, look forward to seeing you down whenever I get to see you next, and keep up the good work, and start working on these few tweaks, and have a great season.